Hey guys, this is Frozen 2 and Share Things Fanboy Lesson 4 here, and welcome back to another video. With the release of Black Adam being the recent DCU film, I think it's about time for me to talk about the DCU on my channel, which I haven't done yet. So yeah, if you want to know my thoughts on the DCU as a whole, I like the DCU actually. I think it's such a great franchise. It's a very enjoyable franchise. Although there are some duds, and I would say that I would agree with the vast majority that this is nowhere near as good as the MCU. I'm more on the Marvel side than the DC side, but everyone who knows me knows that because MCU is pretty much the best franchise next to James Bond and the Frozen duology. But I love the DCU. I'm just not passionate about it, but I can definitely say that the DCU just there's a lot to like about the DCU. I just really enjoy it for the most part because I superheroes is one of the best genres. I would say that I wouldn't consider superhero a legit genre just like animation, but I just love them. I would say action is my favorite genre because action is my go-to. I'll talk more about that later. So yeah, and by the way, before I start my ranking, I just want to say happy birthday to a good friend of mine, Harry Thomas Pictures. Now this isn't my favorite. Now this isn't my real video for Harry Thomas. It's just that I'm doing this cause. It's just that I'm doing this because of Black Adam. But I do have a video for his birthday coming, but it's part of his birthday video because Harry Thomas is really a fan of the DCU. So yeah, birthday shout out to him and yeah. That said, let's get started with the ranking. Coming in number 12 is Justice League. Yeah, it's no surprise to a lot of you guys that this is the worst DCU movie. This movie is complete garbage. It is one of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen. It's literally I think this movie is close to being on the same level as Batman and Robin as the worst DC movie. I would say that it's at least better than DC Goes for Bets because DC League of Super Pets is my least favorite DC movie and my least favorite superhero movie of all time. But Justice League is just up there as one of the worst superhero movies. It's just so so mistreating, so disrespectful for Zack Snyder. I can't believe Warner Bros. Took over this movie and let the Joss Whedon direct. The fun fact: Joss Whedon actually hated the Zack Snyder's cut so much that he completely changed it. Yeah, that's kind of why it's so different because Joss Whedon hated Zack Snyder's version of it. Now I'm not sure if it's really true. I just think that I heard it from somewhere. I forgot, and it was like I think at the time this movie came out. So yeah, I think 2018 I guess. But yeah, this movie. The problem with this movie is that it's too short. It's a team up movie. You need 2.5 hours. In fact, this movie was supposed to be 2 hours and 50 minutes. You need a long runtime for a superhero team up movie because you're introducing new characters. If you introduce one character, then fine. Go ahead with the short runtime. But this is a team up movie. You can't just rush it. I mean, there's no character development. No character development. Superman was the biggest sin of this movie. Yeah, what a disrespectful way to so disrespectful to Superman to CGI his mustache. Why? I mean, why not just keep the original Superman? Like, why do you have to change everything? This is not the Zack Snyder's vision. This is full studio control. It's supposed to be the director's choice, not the studio. And this movie absolutely, yeah, this movie has no character development. I don't feel any chemistry between the team. The action scenes are so lackluster. It is ugly. The color grading is just unwatchable. And in fact, yeah, this movie is actually unwatchable. It's so bad. And also, this movie it also underuses Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Her acting is poor. Her acting is poor, and probably Gal Gadot's only bad performance. I'm actually a fan of Gal Gadot, but why screw her up in this movie? Her acting, like especially when she says, "Kal-El, no," like oh my god. I don't blame Gal Gadot. I mean, obviously, Joss Whedon mistreated her. Yeah, Kal-El, no. More like Joss Whedon, no. Yeah, screw this movie. Coming in number 11 is Suicide Squad 2016, the not Suicide Squad. what a coincidence that the two bottom DCU movies are got an improved version of it. Yeah, Suicide Squad 2016 is a bad movie. In fact, I wanted this movie to be good because I like the trailers, and this looks like it could have been the next the DC's version of Guardians of the Galaxy, but no, this movie is just mess. It's just so messy. It's poorly edited. It's boring as like bad action scenes. No character development. In fact, yeah, this has the same mistake as Justice League when it comes to introducing characters, because you're introducing like honestly more than like twice as much as the Justice League, as how much members Justice League has. So you cannot rush this. But there is no character development. I mean, this movie tries way too hard to have character development, but it's just lazy exposition. I mean, people say America Chavez's character development has a lazy exposition, but I think she's well developed. Yeah, I know unfair criticism, but I'm just saying. I mean, if you think her she has a lazy exposition when it comes to development, I mean these guys are lazy. I mean, yeah, I mean, El Diablo's like, oh, I lost one family, I'm not gonna lose another one. But since when were they your family, El Diablo? I mean, they have no chemistry. Plus, I mean, you call them family, they barely even got along. They don't even grow as characters. You don't care for any one of them. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn was overrated in this. I actually like her, but I think she's annoying in this, and she's not my Harley Quinn, not my type of Harley Quinn. Um, Enchantress is terrible villain. Like she's just I think I think it's because of the acting and the casting choice. It ruins her character for me. Um, and um, Karen Fukuhara's character, I forgot her name, the samurai girl. She actually could have been she's kind of like the most tolerable character, but she's just so underused and she barely has any lines. Why? Yeah, this movie is just messy and inconsistent and terrible. Yeah. And, oh yeah, I can't forget how bad Jared Leto's Joker was. That was the biggest thing in the film. In fact, Joker was actually the main reason why I was hyped for this film, and they completely ruined his character. Why? Um. Yeah. Coming in number 10 is the most overrated DCU movie, Aquaman. Now, I will say Aquaman is not a bad movie. In fact, from this point on, I don't hate any of the DCU movies. I just think I think this one is more meh, more of the meh DCU movies. Yeah, I used to like this movie as a guilty pleasure. I kind of enjoyed this movie but like because of the Jordan Amber Heard child, I was kind of curious to rewatch this to see how it ages well. And boy, it was a snooze fest. Like this movie was really boring. Yeah, I mean, where do I start with this? First of all, yeah, this movie, I literally, this movie is so bland and watered down. I feel absolutely nothing from it. Yeah, this movie is basically a watered down version of Black Panther. I mean, yeah, very generic story. Like it tries so hard to tell a Hamlet story, but it just fails. I mean, say what you want about Black Panther being unoriginal, but at least stays it stays true to the Hamlet storyline, and you actually feel something from it. This one I felt nothing from it. Just there's nothing of boredom and just boredom. And this movie is too long as well. Like, really, I mean, I will say some great things about it. I think Jason Momoa is a perfect casting choice for Aquaman. Um, Nicole Kidman's Atlanta was the standout in my opinion. I loved her. Visual effects, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I think visual effects looks gorgeous. It should have been nominated for an Oscars over a Solo Star Story. Yeah, the Oscars are just fanboying Star Wars at this point. Even though I like Solo Star Story a bit better than this, I think I think it's not worthy to be nominated for best visual effects. The only nominated it just because it's a Star Wars movie. And The action scenes are fine, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I hate Mara. Amber Heard's acting was terrible. Not because of the controversy. Oh no, but because her acting is just poor and she's just annoying. Volko was underused. The King Orm was a mediocre villain. Yeah, the movie is too long. It keeps on meandering for it keeps meandering towards unnecessary things. And it's just and also I think the biggest problem with the movie is the director. James Wan. I like James Wan. I think he's one of my favorite horror directors, and he directed the best Fast and Furious movie, Furious 7. But his style doesn't fit this kind of movie. Like he tries so hard to put in his style, it just doesn't work. Yeah, their directing is so pitch poor. Yeah, I think they could have gotten a better director, not James Wan. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, am I looking forward to Aquaman the sequel? You may ask. Well, I don't know, not really, but I hope it's an improvement. But hey, at least Amber Heard isn't coming back. Yay! Coming in at number nine is Birds of Prey. This movie doesn't really hold up on rewatch. I like this movie. I'll admit I actually thought that this movie was gonna be garbage from the trailer was awful. It was like what on earth is this? And I mean, when a trailer for a superhero movie releases late, then you know that there's something wrong with the marketing, which is why Marvel needs to release the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer by now. Yeah, you know your marketing is poor when you release a trailer this late. I was like, where's the trailer for Birds of Prey? I mean, yeah, I mean this movie looked really bad. Yeah, every time I get this trailer, I just I'm just on my phone. I mean, I'm talking about in the cinema. I got this trailer when I saw Jumanji: The Next Level, and I was like, oh my god, rolling my eyes. But this movie was actually a really surprise, like probably one of the biggest surprises of 2020 at that time. But now, this movie is not good. I mean, I will say this: Margot Robbie is a great Harley Quinn. Much better than Suicide Squad. Her Suicide Squad self. I like I think Cassandra Crane is such an underrated character. Black Ewan McGregor's Black Mask is great, and I like the action scenes. It's just such the action scenes are just a blast to watch. And how do I say this? I like the action scenes. I like how colorful and vibrant it is. I like how this tries to be Deadpool, even though of course this ain't Deadpool. But I think the problem with the movie is how it mistreats its R rating. If this movie was rated PG-13, then I would have enjoyed this one actually a lot more. I could have like put this a little higher in the list maybe. I could have appreciated this more, but it's R rated, so of course you'd expect gore and more stuff. I will say this movie does have enough swearing for an R rated film, but I mean the violence is so toned down that makes you question why this is rated R. Like it's so safe for an R-rated movie. Like why? Where's the like? I was looking for gore. And also another problem is that can't decide if it's a Harley Quinn solo movie or a Birds of Prey movie. In fact, maybe you could have saved Birds of Prey for another time. Like maybe I mean, you could have saved that for another movie. But the Birds of Prey are wasted in this. I mean, Huntress could have been my favorite character in the film. Could have been my favorite character, but she's just completely wasted in this. They just completely waste her. They waste all the other members. Harley Quinn and Cassandra are the only Birds of Prey members I actually cared for. And yeah, where's all the character development and yeah, it's just forgettable. I don't feel like rewatching this ever again. But I would say it's a well-made film, but not my cup of tea. Coming in at number 8 is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. I think this is a movie that I used to hate, but I actually kind of like find more enjoyment in this at rewatch. I think this is more of a guilty pleasure to me because I will say that yes, this movie is messy. This movie is messy. It's overstuffed. And Lex Luthor is one of the worst villains ever. I hate Jesse Eisenberg portrayal, and his not even his plan works. I mean, why Yeah, he's stupid. Like he's just stupid. Like why would a man think he can kill a god? That's I mean Batman won, but that's because of the kryptonite, the bullet. But yeah, screw Lex Luthor and Doomsday is kind of unnecessary. But although I mean, but I will say I think the reason why I like this movie is because of the action scenes. Yeah, the action scenes are like perfect. Like there's not a single action scene that was a complete dud. I mean every single action scene from the burning build from the Metropolis opening to the title fight, the final battle, the car chase scene, like this great action. Like all of them are spot on. Though I know people say the warehouse fight is the best one. Like I love seeing like Batman brutally killing mercenaries, but I think the Doomsday fight is my favorite. I mean I think Doomsday was only there just so they can have a final battle. But yeah, I mean, when Doomsday was about to hit to burn Batman, Wonder Woman literally saves her, and I remember when I was watching this in the theaters, my audience literally cheered at Wonder Woman. Yeah, I mean, I think they made a great use of Wonder Woman. And I really love the Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman. I think he's a perfect Batman. Not as good as Robert Pattinson and Christian Bale, but I love Batman in this. I also love the Henry Cavill. Yeah, I will say that, and I defend the Martha scene. I think it was very powerful and completely misunderstood. Um, I know this movie has its defenders now, but actually, if I thought if this was the theatrical cut I was talking about, I would have put this below Birds of Prey, but this is the extended cut, so Ultimate Edition. So it's a pretty solid film actually. I would say the first half, like from after the African the scene when Superman saved Lois Lane in Africa was that's when the film kind of went downhill, but yeah, and became a pretty total dud, but it able to pick itself up after the car chase sequence, and if you turn off your brain and enjoy the action, then you'll probably like this film a lot more. It's not a great film because of how messy and overstuffed it is, and Lex Luthor being a terrible villain. But I enjoy this movie for its action, characters, and the Trinity. I think Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are better on their own than the others. I hope we see the trio the trio in Man of Steel 2. Oh yeah, also another problem is how it's sets up Justice League. Yeah, this I mean seeing that Justice League through a video. Yeah, why? All right. I don't want to spend too much time here, so from here on out, I'm gonna be speed running each one. I'm gonna go a bit faster. Coming in number seven is Wonder Woman 1984, the most underrated DCO movie. This is one of those movies I like that everyone else hates. I would say this movie doesn't really hold up, and I overhyped this movie. I will admit that the plot is pretty weak. And I would say that this movie has its flaws. Like the plot is pretty weak. And yeah, not that I didn't find it convoluted, but the problem is it's like it copies Batman Returns, like with the Wishing Stone thingy, and I thought it was a little too long. I could have like made it shorter. In fact, it could have been shorter than the first movie. I wish there was more action scenes. And Cheetah's not a fan of Cheetah's CGI. I think her human self is way better. I would say the first 1 hour is the movie's weakness for me. I mean after the I mean, but yeah, I mean I don't think the movie drags at all. I just wish there was more action. Sometimes it makes you forget that you're actually even watching a superhero movie. But even with those issues out of the way, I think Wonder Woman 1984, just like Batman vs Superman, is a guilty pleasure. It's probably my guilty pleasure of 2020. I just really enjoy this movie because I just love to see Wonder Woman herself again. She's such a great... Wonder Woman is my favorite DCU character. Well, until Rachel Zegler from Shazam Fear of the Gods, she could top her. I absolutely love Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot is still like charismatic as always. She's able to recapture what I loved about the character in the first film. And Gal Gadot's yeah, and her golden armor suit is probably her best suit yet. I like Chris Pine. I think it made sense to me and why Chris Pine came back. It was because of the Wishing Stone, which was probably the main plot point of them all. I love the villains. Both Cheetah and Maxwell Lord. I know people say Maxwell Lord is the best character in the film, and the better one of the two villains. But in my opinion, I think Barbara is the better one because I like her arc. She was Barbara's friend, but then she just wanted to be like her. She's just jealousy that she kind of reminded me of Electro, but I think she's better. Even though Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a better movie, Cheetah is better. Yeah, this movie shares some similarities with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but Task 2 is better. So I don't care what anyone says. Um, and the fight scenes are also epic. Any fight scenes in this film are just great. Hans Zimmer's score is I think this is the has the better Wonder Woman score for me. And I enjoy this movie for what it is. I think this is a harmless movie. I don't get the hate for it. Maybe I do get the hate, but come on, this is a harmless movie. So come on, just chill. Coming in number six is Shazam. Yeah, now we're getting into the ones I actually think are pretty great. Now, I don't love Shazam as much as others do, but I know no one talks about Shazam anymore. It's regarded as an underrated DCEU movie. I don't think Shazam is underrated. I know no one talks about it, but I just don't. I just think it's accurately rated for me because yeah Shazam is a pretty flawed movie. I don't like it. I think the villain is underused. I mean, he carried one of my favorite scenes in the film, which is the beginning. I love how serious the beginning is, but yeah, Dr. Savannah. I wish she could have been better, and the CGI is really ugly, especially with the seven deadly sins. And I wish there's a little more risk to it, like how people actually get hurt. I mean, especially when you try so hard to make your final battle epic in scale. Maybe at least. But other with that, I get a kick out of Shazam. Zachary Levi is a perfect casting choice for Shazam. And I like all the kids. I mean, maybe some of them were underused, which is probably another criticism. But I liked it for the most part. My favorite, yeah, Mary Bromfield is my favorite of the kids. Love Freddie Freeman and Darla. I just love them. But I think Shazam is pretty much Mary Bromfield is probably my favorite character in the film. For me. But I just love how charming and lighthearted it is. DC movies has been very dark for the most part. Yeah, it feels great to have a DCU movie try to be like an MCU movie without trying to recapture the success of the MCU film. I think love the small scale and oh yeah, maybe it could have been shorter as well. It was a little too long. For a lighthearted film, this could have been shorter. Like maybe like Black Adam's runtime. But otherwise, I enjoy Shazam. In fact, this is probably like the biggest surprise for the most surprising DCU movie because I thought that this was gonna be like the worst DCU movie. I was not on board with the trailer, but I was wrong. This is great. Kicking us off into the top five is Black Adam. Yeah, the movie I just recently saw. All the DC fans are actually raving about this film, so I don't think it's underrated. Yeah, I mean this movie got a really high audience score. And I'm hearing mostly positive things about it. So yeah, I don't get I don't get why the critics gave this one mixed reviews. It doesn't deserve it. I think especially when another Dwayne Johnson DC film, DC Goes for Best actually got good reviews. Why? But yeah, I won't talk about Black Adam much. I really like this film. And this movie is great. It's just so much fun. This is the most. I will say that this is the most entertaining DCU film, and later on this could actually become the most rewatchable DCU movie ever. Like, I'm going to be rewatching this movie as many times as I can when this comes out on HBO Max. Yeah, this is very rewatchable. And if you haven't seen Black Adam yet, please go watch it. Yeah, just don't think this movie isn't meant to be taken seriously. So just enjoy this movie for the action and don't rely on the quality. Yeah, this movie has some of the best action in the DCU, and it's just the most entertaining of them all. but it's not perfect, and four of them are better. Coming in number four is Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is the start of the DCU films that I absolutely love and gave a perfect 10 out of 10 to. Yeah, while Zack Snyder's Justice League is while my thoughts of this film kind of gets lower for me, I think this is one of the weakest 10 out of 10 movies. I think this movie is still great. I mean, this is definitely an improved version of Justice League. It absolutely does everything right with that film, and this movie absolutely fleshes out the characters that everyone's able to get some character development. I love the race aspect ratio of this. I just love the score from this Junkie XL. In fact, I think this has the best music of the film. I know a lot of people like hate the singing, like scoring the like, but for me, I think that was the best part. And they actually made the Superman the best part of the film. They made Superman was the worst part of Justice League, but this one they made him the best character in the film, and yeah, they made him, and especially like, with the black suit, man. And he's, yeah, and Superman like saving Cyborg and joining the fight. That was the best part of the film. Either that or the scene when Superman flies into the Earth. Yeah, that was a great scene. Coming in number three is Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman. I was really blown away when I saw it in theaters. This movie is amazing. I love this movie. I think we all know why we love this movie because it actually gives makes us care for Diana. It absolutely yeah, Diana Prince is the best DC character for me. Yeah, and Gal Gadot is probably like the best DC the best DC casting ever. Like I would not change that one bit. I just love this movie for its sharp writing and character development. Its action scenes, like, yeah, literally the scene when the trenching is probably the best DCU moment ever. Some of the most intense action scenes. And yeah, and the climax is just extremely underrated. Like every single review I read say that the climax sucks. But I adore the climax. It's not the best scene in the film, but I defend the climax. Yeah, nothing else much else to say about it. Just love Wonder Woman. Coming into yeah, at number two, my runner up is Man of Steel. Maybe in the future this could actually become my favorite DCU movie on rewatch, but right now it's at number two because this is one I like better. Man of Steel is the best Superman movie ever, and it's actually my favorite movie 2013. Yeah, I I mean, back in 2020, when I rewatched this movie for quarantine, that's when I started falling in love with this movie. Man, this movie is so good, and every time I rewatch it, it just gets better. In fact, one thing that makes this movie special is that this was the first DC movie I ever saw in my life. So you can imagine how, yeah, you can imagine how much it holds up at this time. Zack Snyder is a very underrated director. I think he deserves more appreciation, and this is the best Zack Snyder film yet. Yeah, Henry Cavill is Superman, not Christopher Reeves, but Henry Cavill is my Superman. And yeah, yeah, and I love how they make this they give us a different take on Superman. I know Superman is supposed to be a lighthearted character, but making Superman a dark character in this film, like a dark and more grounded and serious character, like really works for me because I absolutely felt it makes me more emotionally invested in Superman. And I like the idea of Superman causing destruction. They probably did that to raise more, to give the action more stakes, and him I defend him killing Zod because it wasn't intentional. He didn't want to kill Zod. The reason why he killed Zod is because he wanted to save the people. Yeah, and I love the character study throughout. Now I won't go in depth because John Campea gave a perfect yeah, he gave a perfect perfect analysis on this movie and why it's one of the most underrated superhero movies ever. So go check out that review on this channel after this video. But my number one favorite DCU movie is, well, the Suicide Squad. Yeah, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the newer DCU movies. Yeah, this was the DCU movie I went back to the most. Man, I love this movie. It's just so good. I mean, I love that this is so different from the DCU format, and I love it that way. Unlike Birds of Prey, this movie absolutely nails the R rating. You absolutely feel it, the gore, the swearing, and pretty much everything. But at the same time, at its core, you really get invested in every single one of these characters. I wish a samurai girl came back in this movie, but I don't mind. But it's fine. I mean, Harley Quinn was the standout of this film. I know people say that she was underused. I don't get it. I think she had enough screen time and she was a standout. Ratcatcher 2 is I know people say Ratcatcher 2 is one of the best characters in the film. I love Ratcatcher 2's like them, and Ratcatcher 2 is it's pretty much the heart of this film, and the best character development. If Peacemaker had his own TV show, then why not Ratcatcher get a spin-off show too? Please HBO Max do that. And I think this movie like really makes you so invested in these characters. It makes you absolutely care about them, yeah, each one of them, and I just love, and which is something that the 2016 version failed to do. Actually, give them development, and yeah, I care about every single character in this. I think this is a much better team. Yeah, and I love King Shark as well. I know people say King Shark's the best character, but for me it's Harley Quinn. So yeah, Suicide Squad is just a lot of fun and it's such a blast. This is the most rewatchable DCU movie. The one I rewatched the most times. Either this or Man of Steel. But and yeah, just love this movie so much. I hope we get another Suicide Squad movie. Can't believe this bombed at the box office. Why? Like, why did this bomb? And yeah, I think it's a garbage kids animated movie. Didn't make more money than this. I mean, also I was fine with the Free Guy making more money because I adore Free Guy as well. So yeah, but yeah, the Suicide Squad is my number one best DCU movie ever. Could this get topped? Yeah, it could actually. But for now, it's the Suicide Squad. So that's all for my ranking of all the DCU movies. What's your opinion on the DCEU and how would you rank these movies? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my birthday video for Harry Thomas, which will be a surprise. So yeah, bye guys.